All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. We're continuing the weed sector review, looking at Sandal, SNDL, as well as HITI. So look, this is now going to be the fourth and fifth ticker I'm looking at in the sector, and honestly, this seems like number 4 of 4 not looking good, with HITI being the fifth one we'll look at. But it very much worries me when I look at a when I look at a sector and everything looks bad, okay? Generally, stocks that are similar move together. And when they're all not going up, they're either going to go horizontal and down, and that's not where I want my money, you know what I mean? So obviously I was so optimistic almost 2 weeks ago, right? And it seems like that's just such a distant memory today, which is sad to say, you know? And really, ultimately, I think what bothers me the most, just the markets have been running. When I say the markets, I mean the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, and the NASDAQ, really especially the NASDAQ and S&P 500. There was a conversation I was having, I mean, it feels like it was months ago, where I said, I think that the weed stocks move with the Dow Jones way more than they do with the S&P 500. I think that the fact that the Dow Jones is actually kind of starting to turn, like, this has been the best day for the Dow, this being Friday, in a long time. All right, you can actually see it. The Dow Jones actually looks like a lot of our weed stocks right now, actually almost identical to Sandal, right? Just kind of horizontal and down. So maybe there's some hope that if the Dow does well, the weed stocks will pick up, but under way too many moving averages for my blood. I'll at least say that. So before we go any deeper, what are we going to do today? Same thing we always do, right? We're going to take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we're done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this thing with your friends, comment good or bad. Look, anything you can do really does help me out with these YouTube algorithms. But for real, I very, very much appreciate your time, okay? So look, let's get into it. And again, I think I said a lot of the things I'm going to say here really are echoed on that Tilray, Hexo, and ACB video. But look, I'm seeing us losing this 8 moving average pretty hard. That is a very, very steep downtrend, and it actually looks like it's getting worse, right? That's the line right there, and it now looks like the slope is getting even worse going down, right? So I feel like the 8 is not done going. This 20 is clearly no longer horizontal, right? Like, that was horizontal. We are definitely starting to move down with this line, and you know, end of the day, if you're under all 5, just like this one is, right? We're under 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the colorful lines. That's not a good place to be, all right? I'm going to go to the weekly real quick. Look, this 140 is a really important line because I've said it on a couple other ones. If we lose 140, that will be all-time lows, right? That's where there is nothing. I don't even know what this line is. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to go ahead and delete that one. Sorry. But yeah, there's nothing below 140, right? If you lose that, you fall into the black hole vortex that is all-time lows, you know? And I'm glad we were able to bounce here. Do I think we're going to get over the 8 moving average? I honestly don't. Like I said, this is now the 4th ticker I'm looking at in the sector, and man, the first 3 did not look that good, you know? And look, red, 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 green, 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 green. You know I say that often, but I'm so worried of how we are looking compared to the moving averages and how close we are to all-time lows, knowing that some of the other 3 that we just talked about were either already in all-time lows or not that far from it, you know? So I have to lean on the pessimistic side, on the bearish side, whatever you want to call it, right? But I feel like it's more likely we lose 140 than we actually break this 166, bringing us over the 8 and the 20, right? Like, bad things happen under the 8 and the 20. I no longer think we are over it as we've been since the 20s. Like, we are now under it, and I think going well back under it. And really, 140 cannot be lost. If 140 is lost, that's where things will get uglier. And again, when I say uglier, in my opinion, it becomes these 20% tranches. Like, I could really see this thing losing about another 30 cents after 140 and dropping to 110. I would not be surprised. And really, I could see that happen happening within a couple days to a week. You know what I mean? So just be really, really careful if 140 starts peaking itself. All right. And again, I honestly have to believe we're going to come closer to here than closer to breaking this 20 and making me believe we're going to come to the 100. You know what I mean? So it really was all of that. Just this 100 line, man. If we got over, and again, I said it on the last, but it was not that long ago. I was crazy optimistic 2 weeks ago, and now it just seems like a very, very, very distant memory, you know. And again, where are we? We lose the 8. We have now confirmed the 8 is lost. I'm really scared for next week. Right? Like I would say the same thing on the daily, right? Like if we lost this and then we confirmed, I would say, hey, the next day is not going to look good. I feel like this coming week is going to be scary. Lose, confirm, follow through. That's kind of the game we play here, right? So be careful here, to say the least. One more time. High tide. All right. Interesting. Okay, high tide. Look, I said it on the last video too, because again, I was very, very much optimistic right here. I started talking about, I forgot when the last weed video was, but look, this stock seems to be at least holding itself better than the other ones, right? Like I said, this is now the 5th ticker I'm looking at, and we are very much going horizontal with these 5 lines. It's not a super tight cluster, but it is all 5 going pretty horizontal. We were near the top, we were near the middle, we are clearly at the bottom and actually under all 5. Okay, this day goes over, this does not confirm, this stays under, right? So 8's coming down. Look, I said it on the last one, I'll say it again. This one is holding up better than the rest, but at this point, I feel like we're coming down to 120. I'll be real honest with you. Again, this one had good enough earnings to gap up, and I think that is allowing this to at least stay parallel. One more time, I'll at least call it out. The Dow Jones has had its best day in a long time, all right? Maybe if the Dow can hold and keep running, maybe the weed stocks can copy, all right? That said, I'm seeing a stock under all 5 moving averages. I'm seeing the 8 moving average want to come down. I'm seeing the 20 want to curve. You know, maybe we come up to a $1.33. Do I think we can break a $1.33 and get up over the 8 and the 20? I don't know. I really don't. I even like less think we can break 136 and get over the 100 moving average. You know what I mean? So maybe we'll start playing with these 4 lines. I don't know if we're going to be coming back up to this one. And look, I've said it for a while. I would not enter this stock until we got over the purple line. If high tide can break the 200 and get over, I actually would really like this stock. I would. Until that happens, I got almost no interest in this thing. You know what I mean? So part of me is wondering if I should lower this to basically go from here to here. I think I will. You know what? Let's do that. I think I'm going to adjust it. We'll take that. We're now going to say that the trend is from here to here. Let's see what that ends up looking like. Again, I think this is the money line right here, basically 143. If this can get over 143, I would be very, very interested, to say the least, right? I still think 154 is a very good money line too, because that's a nice little plateau before this beautiful, beautiful little channel right here. But yeah, just get me over the 200 and I'd be pretty happy. And honestly, as I'm looking at it, the 200 is lining up on this parallel here, so maybe getting over this would almost make this a little insignificant. But yeah, I'm not going to move any of my lines. So hey, trade safely. It's worrisome, to say the least. All right, but maybe the Dow can do some stuff. Be careful here though. Hey, have a great one.